I want to go on record right now as saying that you never completely eliminate the use of rewards in your training. I get asked this question all the time, and people phrase it, how do you get rid of rewards in your training? You don't. So especially in competition training, but in any kind of training, dogs need to continue to get something out of the work, to want to continue to perform it, especially at a high level for competition. So you never completely eliminate the rewards. What we do is we reduce the number of rewards in sessions, so the dogs work harder and longer to access those rewards. And so we can control how long and hard a dog will work for a reward by changing certain variables. One of those is the reinforcement schedule, or the reward schedule. And we'll talk in this chapter about how we do that, how many reps we do between rewards, whether they're being rewarded continuously, variably, or randomly. We'll also talk about varying the value or quality of the reward itself. So in here we'll talk about changing rewards to rewards that dogs find more interesting, more valuable. We'll also talk about the intensity of the reward. So another way we can make dogs work longer and harder is by making the intensity of the reward event itself higher and more interesting to the dog. We can also vary the duration of reward events. So this is a big part of keeping dogs engaged and holding dogs' attention for longer periods of time. If the reward event varies in the length, from a very quick reward event to a longer, more drawn-out reward event, we get better performances as a result. In this chapter, we'll also talk about a topic that people seldom mention, which is the use of conditioned reinforcers without actually following them up with a primary reinforcer. And what we mean by this is that we use our markers, yes and good, without actually rewarding the dog with a primary reinforcer. And there are places where we deliberately do this to improve performance. That will also be covered in this chapter. The final thing we're going to cover in this chapter is building up an expectation of a type of reward. So one of the things that's very important in reducing the rate of reward is that the dog expect a certain level of value in that reward. And people that change the value of the reward thinking that the randomness and variability of the value of the reward will improve their performance actually set their dog up to work less hard as they go forward. So it's very important that if we want the dog to work hard to get to the reward event, that we build up a certain expectation. That means we need to be consistent about the value of the reward at least. So higher value rewards over a longer period of time build up an expectation for that higher value reward, and it's the energy that the dog brings into the work expecting a certain type of reward that allows them to work longer and harder. So that expectation is very important. And so in a certain level of intensity, duration, value in our reward is important, and building the expectation for that reward is important.